You walked into the room, scanned it, and within seconds, you had already decided which person you liked and which one made you slightly uncomfortable. You didn't talk to them. You didn't know anything about them. But something in you had already made a call. And here's the thing. You trusted that call completely. Most people assume trust builds slowly, that it's earned over time, that it takes shared experiences and honesty and a track record. And sometimes that's true. But long before any of that happens, your brain has already placed a bet. A fast, automatic, mostly invisible bet that shapes every interaction that follows. The question isn't whether this happens. It does. The question is, why? And how often that snap decision turns out to be completely wrong. Think about the last time you met someone new in a professional setting. Maybe an interview, a meeting, a networking event. Within moments of seeing their face, hearing their voice, noticing how they stood, you had already formed an impression. You might not have called it trust or distrust. You might have called it a vibe, a gut feeling, something about them. But that feeling wasn't random. It came from somewhere. Psychologist Nalini Ambady at Tufts University ran a study where she showed participants short video clips of professors teaching, just 2 seconds of silent footage. No words, no context, just a glimpse. And the trust and likability ratings those viewers gave matched almost perfectly with the ratings students who had actually taken the class gave after an entire semester. 2 seconds of silent video, against 16 weeks of actual experience. And they matched. Your brain isn't slow and methodical when it comes to reading people. It's extraordinarily fast, and it's pulling from a database of patterns built over an entire lifetime. The way someone meets your eyes, or doesn't. The angle of their posture. The micro-expressions that flicker across their face before they even know they're showing anything. All of it gets processed before your conscious mind has formed a single sentence about them. Psychologist Alex Todorov at Princeton took this even further. He found that people form judgments of trustworthiness from a face in about 100 milliseconds, less time than it takes to blink. And extending exposure doesn't dramatically change the verdict. It just makes people more confident in the judgment they had already made. That confidence is the part worth paying attention to. Because when the judgment comes fast, it feels accurate. It feels like instinct. And instinct feels like truth. Your brain doesn't wave a flag that says, "Warning, this is a guess based on pattern matching." It just delivers the verdict, and you walk around assuming you read the room correctly. Psychologists call this the halo effect. When someone makes a good first impression, through appearance or warmth or the right kind of eye contact, your brain extends that positive judgment outward. You assume they're more competent, more honest, more reliable. None of that is evaluated. All of it is inferred. And the reverse is just as automatic. One wrong signal and suddenly you're skeptical of things about them that have nothing to do with whatever triggered the reaction. The halo doesn't just tint your perception, it rewrites it. And here's where it gets genuinely strange. The signals your brain is reading are not always about the other person. A lot of them are about you, your prior experiences, your nervous system's threat detection, the face that reminds you, at some level you can't consciously access, of someone who let you down, or someone who helped you, the voice that sounds like safety or doesn't. You're not reading them, you're reading your history, and calling it intuition. This is the part most people never examine, because it feels like perception, like you're accurately seeing what's in front of you, when what's actually happening is projection. Your brain is pattern matching against an archive you built without choosing to. Every person who broke your trust left a template. Every person who earned it left one too. And when new people walk into the room, your brain runs a quick comparison. How close do they match the template? The match happens before the conversation starts. This doesn't mean your instincts are useless. Sometimes the pattern matching is right. Sometimes the discomfort is signal, not noise. People who've experienced certain kinds of betrayal develop real sensitivity to early warning signs, a kind of learned perception that serves them well. But that same system also produces false positives at an enormous rate. The person whose nervous energy read as suspicious was just anxious because they wanted to make a good impression. The one who felt immediately trustworthy was performing warmth they'd practiced without it meaning much. The one you dismissed in 30 seconds might have become one of the most important people in your life if you'd given the algorithm a chance to update. Research by psychologist Nicholas Rule found that people's ability to accurately judge character from a face alone is barely better than chance on most traits, even though their confidence in those judgments is high. High confidence, low accuracy. That combination shows up everywhere in human cognition, but nowhere is it more consequential than in how we decide who we let in. Because once the initial call is made, your brain protects it. You start noticing evidence that confirms the impression. You explain away evidence that contradicts it. The person you decided to trust gets the benefit of every doubt. The one you didn't, they're working uphill before they've said a word. You walked into that room and made a call. Now you know exactly what made it, and exactly how much you should trust the verdict. I'm Professor Gray. I'll see you in the next one.